A warm welcome to all of you. Today we are discussing photosynthesis part 4, experiments on photosynthesis. Here we are discussing 4 different experiments on photosynthesis. Before going to the experiments on photosynthesis, we have to know the term destarching. What is destarching? Removal of starch. We can go through the details. A plant used for experiments on photosynthesis should initially place in the dark for 24 to 48 hours to destarch the leaf. Remember, before going to start the experiments on photosynthesis, we should place the plant in dark for 24 to 48 hours. Why we are doing that? To destarch the leaf or to remove the starch from the leaf. Remember, during this period, all the starch will be removed from the leaves and stored in the storage organs. The leaves will not show the presence of starch. A destarched plant is one whose leaves are free from starch, not all the plant body. The destarched plant is one whose leaves are free from starch. To test a leaf for starch or iodine test is very important for almost all the photosynthesis experiments. There are 4 main steps are there to conduct iodine test. First step, dip the leaf in boiling water for a minute to kill the cells. Here you can see you have to place the leaf in boiling water to kill the cells. The second step, boil the leaf in methylated spirit or ethanol. Here you can see methylated spirit or ethanol over a water bath till it becomes pale white due to the removal of chlorophyll. You have to place that leaf in ethanol to remove the chlorophyll. The leaf now becomes hard and brittle. Remember, always you have to do the second step in double boiling method. What is the third step? Place it again in hot water to soften it. We know that if we are boiling the leaf in ethanol or methylated spirit, after some time the leaf become brittle and hard and leaf become decolorized. Then to soften that leaf, what we have to do? We have to place that leaf in hot water. Then the next step, fourth step, spread the leaf in a dish and pour iodine solution on it. The presence of starch will be indicated by a blue-black color. A leaf without starch will show brown coloration. Remember, if there is starch in that leaf, the leaf become blue-black in color. If there is no starch in that leaf will show brown coloration. Now we can go through the experiments. First experiment, to show that chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. In the first experiment, we have to prove that chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. For this experiment, we are taking variegated leaves. Take a plant with variegated leaves, having some green and some non-green areas. Here you can see, these are some examples of variegated plants. First one, coleus. You can see green part and non-green part. Geranium, then croton. These are some examples of the plants having variegated leaves. What do we do for this experiment? First step, destarch the leaves by keeping the plant in a dark room for a few days. You know that what is destarching. Keep the plant in dark room for 24 to 48 hours. Then what is the next step? Place the plant in the sun. After discharging, we have to place that plant in the sun. Then third step, after a few hours, pluck one leaf. After keeping that plant in the sun, few hours later, we have to pluck one leaf. The next step, make its outline on paper and mark the green and non-green areas on the outline. The next step, test the leaf for starch. Only the green parts of the leaf turn blue-black, showing the presence of starch. Non-green areas become brown, showing the absence of starch. Here you can see the different steps of iodine test that we already discussed. You can go through that. Yes. Then remember, this is a variegated leaf. In this variegated leaf, the green part turn into blue-black. That means, yes, photosynthesis occur in this leaf only in the green area. Then we can say chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. Then what is the aim of this experiment? Chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. The non-green area become brown in color. Experiment 2, to show that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. In this experiment, we have to take a plant with destarched leaves. After destarching the leaf, we have to cover one part of its leaf with black paper. In this picture, you can see that. Then place this plant in the sun. After a few hours, test the leaf which is covered by black paper for the presence of starch. After few hours, we have to conduct the starch test, or we can say iodine test, for the presence of starch. Then what will be the result? After iodine test, you know that what is iodine test? Yes, there are four main steps are there in iodine test. Yes, after doing iodine test, what will be the result? What you can observe? Uncovered area turns blue-black, showing the presence of starch. Here you can see uncovered area turn into blue-black. That's showing the presence of starch. Then covered area. Here you can see covered area becomes brown, showing the absence of starch. Then what is the aim of this experiment? Through this experiment, we can see that yes, light is necessary. Sunlight is very essential for photosynthesis, for the production of starch, for the preparation of food. What is very important? Sunlight is also very important for the production of starch. Experiment number 3. To show that carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis. In this experiment, we have to take a plant with destarched leaves. Then insert a part of one of its leaf into a glass bottle. Here you can see in this picture, insert a part of one of its leaf into glass bottle containing potassium hydroxide. Why we are using potassium hydroxide here? Because potassium hydroxide has the capacity to absorb carbon dioxide. Then that's why there is no carbon dioxide inside the glass bottle. All the carbon dioxide absorbed by potassium hydroxide. Then after doing this experimental setup, we have to leave the plant in sunlight. Then after a few hours, test the leaf for starch. Yes, You know that what is starch test or iodine test? We have to conduct the iodine test. Then what will be the result? Leaf exposed to atmospheric air turn into blue-black. Here you can see yes, this area that leaf exposed to atmospheric air turn into blue-black. Then the leaf inside the flask. Here you can see that yes, leaf inside the flask containing potassium hydroxide does not become blue-black. That become brown itself. Yes. Then what will be the aim of this experiment? Through this experiment, we can say that carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis. If there is no carbon dioxide, no starch formation. Experiment number 4. To show that oxygen is produced during photosynthesis. In this experiment, place some water plants, example Elodia or Hydrilla, in a beaker containing water and cover them with a short stemmed funnel. Here you can see that in this picture we have to cover the water plant with a short stemmed funnel. Then invert a test tube full of water over the stem of the funnel. Then ensure that the level of water in the beaker is always above the level of the stem of the inverted funnel. Then place the apparatus in the sun for a few hours. Bubbles of the gas will collect in the test tube. You can see here. Then test the gas in the test tube. A glowing splinter bursts into a flame. Then it shows that the presence of oxygen. Then what is the aim of this experiment? Or what is the objective of this experiment? To show that oxygen produced during photosynthesis. Revision. Answer the following. First question. What chemical do you use to remove carbon dioxide from inside a flask in certain experiments on photosynthesis? The chemical is potassium hydroxide. Why do we perform the iodine test? We perform the iodine test to test the presence of starch or to test the presence of carbohydrate. Given below is a schematic diagram to illustrate some aspects of photosynthesis. A. Fill up the gaps in blank spaces 1 to 4 by writing the names of the correct items. First one, this is sunlight. Then second, you can check the arrow that is towards outside. Then this is oxygen. Third, here you can see carbon dioxide gas plus H plus ions, formation of glucose. 3, glucose. Then fourth one is water. B. What phenomenon do the thick arrows A and B indicate? Here you can see these two thick arrows A and B indicate ascent of sap. Given below is the diagram of an experimental setup. First we can observe the diagram. No carbon dioxide, lime water, then sunlight. We can go through the questions. First one, what is the objective of this experiment? To show that carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis. Second question, will it work satisfactorily? Answer is yes. Give reason. Because lime water has the capacity to absorb carbon dioxide Lime water absorbs carbon dioxide. What alteration will you make for obtaining the expected result? Instead of lime water, we can use potassium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide also absorbs carbon dioxide. That's why we can use potassium hydroxide instead of lime water. Would you take any steps before starting the experiment? We have to discharge the leaf of that plant, describe the step and explain its necessity. Describe the step. We have to place the plant in dark for 24 to 48 hours. Explain its necessity. Because a plant is discharged before performing any experiment in photosynthesis in order to prevent photosynthesis. If starch is present in the leaf, it will be a hindrance in determining the correct pathway of photosynthesis. That's why we have to discharge the plant, discharge the leaf of the plant. Thank you, children. Have a nice day. If you like my channel, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.